Welcome back to the Purple Phosphor channel. Imagine you're alone at night. You're flipping through the radio frequencies when suddenly a robotic voice begins reading random numbers. Not a weather report, not a radio show, just numbers, over and over. And then the signal disappears. The strange part? This isn't fiction. For decades, mysterious radio stations around the world have been broadcasting coded messages that seemingly nobody is meant to hear. Governments deny them. Nobody claims ownership. And yet many of them are still active right now. Tonight we're talking about one of the strangest mysteries still broadcasting across the planet: number stations. What's going on, everybody? I'm Steven, and this is Purple Phosphor. Today we're diving into a mystery that sounds like something straight out of a spy thriller. Strange voices, hidden codes, Cold War secrets, and radio broadcasts that continue to this day. Imagine buying a cheap shortwave radio. No internet, no subscriptions, just an antenna and the ability to listen to signals from all over the world. Most frequencies sound normal. News, music, weather reports, and then suddenly, you hear this.
0096 2251.
A voice calmly reading numbers. The sequence continues for several minutes before ending, with no explanation and no identification. Absolutely nothing. These mysterious broadcasts became known as the number stations, and people have been hearing them for nearly a century. Most researchers believe number stations exploded in popularity during the Cold War. Think about it. You're running spies inside enemy territory. Communication is a problem. You need a way to send instructions. A phone call can be traced. Letters can be intercepted. Modern internet communications leave digital footprints. But radio? Radio is different. Anyone can listen, yet only intended recipients understand the message. How? Because of something called a one-time pad. No, boys, I do not mean the mouse mattresses. I too was confused. This is where things get fascinating. A one-time pad is considered one of the few truly unbreakable encryption methods ever invented. Imagine two people sharing an identical secret key. The broadcast may sound like random numbers to everyone else, but the spies using their matching keys can decode this message. And without that key, the transmission is essentially impossible to crack. Not difficult or time-consuming, just impossible. Even if you record the broadcast forever. Hell, even if you had the world's fastest computers, without the matching pad, the message remains meaningless, and that may explain why number stations were so useful. One of the most famous number stations ever discovered became known as the Lincolnshire Poacher. Before every transmission, listeners heard a few bars from an old English folk song. Then came the voice.
39715. 39715. 39715.
Calm, precise, mechanical, reading groups of numbers. The station transmitted for decades before suddenly going silent in 2008. And to this day, nobody officially admits operating it. Yet many researchers suspect British intelligence connections. I'm gonna tell you right now, this one's my personal favorite. Now let's talk about the station that genuinely creeps people out. The Swedish Rhapsody. No, Freddie Mercury did not sing this one. Unlike many number stations, this one used what sounded like a child's voice. Imagine hearing that at 2 in the morning while scanning radio frequencies. The effect is unsettling, to say the least, even today. Some listeners described it as sounding somewhat supernatural. Others thought it was evidence of secret experiments. In reality, the voice was likely generated using older recording technology, but knowing that doesn't make it any less scary. And then we have perhaps the king of all number station mysteries, UVB-76, also known as the buzzer. For decades, listeners around the world heard this signal. Hour after hour, day after day, year after year. A constant buzzing tone. Then occasionally, a voice interrupts. A strange message is spoken, and then the buzzing returns. That's it. Nobody knows publicly what this station is for. Theories range from military communications to nuclear command systems. Some even speculate it serves as a dead man switch, meaning if the signal ever stops permanently, something has gone terribly wrong. There is no evidence for that theory, but it shows how crazy the mysteries of the station have become. For years, the governments have all refused number stations. Then came an unexpected twist. In 1998, US authorities arrested members of Cuban intelligence network known as the Cuban Five. Adam Levine was not involved. During investigation, prosecutors revealed agents were receiving encrypted instructions through number station broadcasts. This was not theory or speculation, this was actual espionage. Sorry, my light was having a fucking seizure up there. Also, if this looks like shit, forgive me, I'm trying a new setup and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. We'll get there. The FBI even presented decoded messages during the court proceedings. For the first time, people had confirmation that at least some number stations were exactly what many suspected: spy communications. Theories! Everyone's favorite. So what are they? Some possibilities include military communications, intelligence operations, emergency backup networks, naval communications, and I do not mean your belly button. Or perhaps remnants of systems built decades ago that still have not been shut down. The simplest explanation is probably still the best one. Some governments still find shortwave radios useful, especially during emergencies where modern communications might fail, because unlike the internet, you can't really hack a radio signal the same way. This is the part that fascinates me personally most. You can listen to many of these broadcasts yourself, right now, tonight. Have a listening party. Some are still transmitting. Some have been active longer than many people watching this video have even been alive. And somewhere out there, someone may still be receiving these messages. A person with a code book, a purpose, and instructions meant for nobody else. Number stations are one of those rare mysteries where we probably know part of the answer. They're likely connected to intelligence agencies and covert communications. But knowing only creates more questions. Who's listening? What is being told? And why are some of these stations still active decades after the Cold War has ended? Maybe one day we'll find out. Or maybe somewhere on a forgotten frequency, the numbers will just keep coming. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you could hit a like or drop a comment, I would appreciate it greatly. It helps the channel a lot more than you know. Have you ever listened to a number station? What do you think they are? Anyway, like always, thank you for listening. If you would like to pick up some super sweet merch like this, does not come with a microphone, go over to purplephosphor.com. And as always, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.